the Ibex, a magnificent animal which dwells in the desert. One of the places we decided to visit to get a closer look at this animal was southern Israel's dusty and dry land, which has been home to the animal with sweeping horns throughout history, with stories of the creature in this region dating back to biblical times.
The name Yael is the Nubian Ibex. Saul was following David to pursue him. And then he was given the information that he is at En Gedi. So he is at the mountain goat cliffs. And therefore we know, and in these cliffs are only the Ibex, the Nubian Ibex. So we know that is definitely the Yael. Yet, because the Bible is written both in Babylon, part of it, and part of it as well in Europe, so you get a misunderstanding. So sometimes it's mixed with deer or gazelle, but definitely it's the mountain goat, the Nubian Ibex.
The animal is also mentioned elsewhere in the Bible.
In Psalms 104, which speaks about the beauty of creation of the natural world, we have references to the ibexes on the hills.
The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the conies. And the ibex has roamed the Middle East throughout time, where it's depicted on rock art and also on other artifacts.
This magnificent scepter was found in a cave hidden on the cliffs of Nahal Mishmar in the Judean desert, which is the natural habitat of ibexes. It is decorated with 4 heads of ibex and a head of a ram. The ibex as an iconographic depiction recurs throughout the horde on different artifacts. And it's very fitting for a desert culture where you could see ibexes around you to actually use this as an iconographic representation.
And the creature which once made an appearance in stories in the Bible can still be found in the Holy Land.
In Psalms, you have this description of the ibex in the hills and the hyraxes hiding in the rocks. And this is a description written thousands of years ago. And still today, you can go to En Gedi and you can look at the ibex climbing the hills very easily.
But while the animal can be widely seen in Israel's south today, that wasn't always the case. In fact, the mountain goats once faced a threat from hunting, which was so large, it almost brought them to extinction. But the species has made a spectacular return to the area, and now its comeback is seen as a success story.
Because ibex are no longer hunted, they've also learned that they don't have anything to fear from people.
You can catch a glimpse of ibex right behind me. While their natural habitat is the desert, they've come to this spot in Sde Boker to feed.
We see them more in places like Mitzpe Ramon or Sde Boker, coming into settlements because they know they're safe, they're no longer hunted, and they can nibble on the vegetation that we try to keep.
But while ibex are mostly safe, they still at times face major threats.
In Israel, because we changed the laws and we made it illegal to hunt, their population is still surviving. Still, we are facing serious problem of illegal hunting, poaching, done by minorities coming from the back of the desert, from the Palestinian Authority and from Israel, and hunting them. And we're really trying with rangers and with civilians to actually prevent this illegal hunting, and that's a threat. So this, together with roadkills, which is one of the major causes of deaths for ibex, these are the main issues of the population.
But the animals seem to be keenly aware of danger lurking nearby.
And I can give you a specific example of ibex I know, and I've been following them, and he just eats here in the grass and lets you get to 3 meters. If you try to approach him in a nature area where hunting happens, he will run away.
For some, the presence of ibex can be too close for comfort.
Citizens in the Negev, for instance, are unhappy when ibex jump over the huge fences they put and go into their lawns and eat the grass and eat, their yards, basically. So we have to find ways to mitigate the conflict and to allow people who actually invaded the desert of the ibex to live, to coincide with the ibex and to actually buffer the ibex outside the settlements. And this is an active debate of, okay, this is a natural protected animals, and obviously we want to conserve it. But on the other hand, we want to allow the people to live in and, you know, do their lives, get on with their lives, and we have to find ways to separate it.
For ibex, the natural habitat, vegetation, and water available mostly provides smooth conditions. But in this mountainous region, a rocky road ahead for people who will have to learn how to live side by side with these animals.